Hello and welcome back everyone to our fourth PMO Leader Annual Conference from APAC. We have another great speaker coming up for you in a moment, Michael Haynes, who is based in Australia. He is going to talk to us about something that's not quite PMO that you've seen already before, but more about marketing. So cracking the code, 3 secrets to making today's B2B client want to buy your PMO services. It's fascinating. We're very much looking forward to it. But before I hand over to Michael, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of who he is. So Michael, B2B go-to-market specialist, founder and principal consultant of consulting firm Listen, Innovate, Grow. Focus and passion is empowering CEOs and the teams of small and medium B2B accounting, technology and law firms to acquire, retain and grow business. And Michael is also an author of the book, Listen, Innovate, Grow, a guidebook for startups and SMEs to acquire and grow business B2B customers. So really interesting background, another author. We've been blessed with lots of authors today. So big welcome to you, Michael, and handing over to you. So thank you very much for being here. You'll pop back in 5 minutes.
Thank you, Julie. It is great to be here. Okay, we'll go to next slide. Specialist and focusing on working with small and medium B2B professional service firms. I am here based in Sydney, working with clients globally. And so what I'm going to be talking about over the next 30 minutes is I'm going to be talking about, what it is that we need to be doing in the world of professional services for you folks as PMO leaders, PM professionals, what you have to do to thrive and succeed, to acquire, retain, and grow the business clients that you seek. Now, our world of professional services, of B2B professional services, is quite unique and has some key challenges that are quite different from different elements of B2B. Now, there's professional services, as you well know, there's lots of opportunity for us, for you as PMO professionals. Organizations are undertaking lots of big initiatives. They're trying to do various kinds of transformations. They're doing international market expansions, enhancing their capabilities. So there is lots of appetite and hence strong demand for professional services. And so, I'm sure many of you as firm leaders has experienced a great deal of success. However, what got you here and what is going to get you moving forward are going to be two different, very different things. While there is lots of opportunity in the world of B2B professional services within the world of PMO, consulting, the whole works, there are going to be some challenges by virtue of some of the dynamics that are occurring. And a lot of that stems from what is happening from our clients. So those who are buying our B2B professional services, project management services, consulting, advisory services, the way in which they buy has fundamentally changed. First of all, there are more people involved in the decision making. It is more now buying by committee. So even if you're a smaller niche firm and you are selling to other small and medium business organizations, the number of people involved is increasing. It is not uncommon, even if you are selling as a small niche boutique firm, selling into an SME organization for there to be 6, 7, or even more people involved. Also, we're also seeing more senior level, even execs being involved in the buying decision. And they're undertaking a fair bit of self-education and research as part of their decision-making, where they're trying to determine who are the best organizations to help them move forward. Hence, there are longer sales cycles because buyers they're more skeptical, they're more demanding, they want to have that clarity, that confidence. And buyers are now also asking a fundamentally different question, which I'm going to get to in a moment. So in terms of this session is called 3 Secrets to make your clients, prospects want to buy. The first secret that you need to understand is that our buyers of B2B professional services, consulting, PM, advisory services, the number one thing that our clients our prospects are looking for is expertise and depth of expertise. Okay, they're really looking for that clarity, that direction. They're looking for that expertise in terms of working with trusted advisors who really can guide them on how to take their business forward to meet their objectives, be it around transformations, market expansion, increased capabilities, what have you. Therefore, in order to deliver to this requirement of expertise, the focus of what we need to be doing as B2B professional service providers, as PMO specialists, experts, firms, we need to be providing them what I call AIR, advice, insights, and recommendations. So providing them insights and advice with regards to best practices. What are some of the strategies and approaches they can be undertaking to utilize, to move forward in order to meet those strategic imperatives? Giving them insights on what's going on within the industries and markets that they're serving, their end customers that they're serving. What are some of the recommendations with regard to strategies, coming up with solutions, helping them to compare other alternatives? So really being that trusted advisor, strategist, really working with them to really give them that clarity, that strategy, that roadmap as to how to move forward. That is the number one thing that our B2B professional services, buyers of professional services are looking for. Now, this is not just coming from me, folks. This has been heavily documented, and there's been a lot of research done by the likes of Forrester, Gartner, the Hinge Research Institute in the United States, which specializes in doing research in our world of B2B professional services. All of these leading think tanks, research organizations have been noticing that there is quite that dynamic shift in the expectations and the requirements of our buyers of professional services. There's also a book that you may want to get. I have not written it, but it's been written by some experts in the US. It's called Nearbound and the Who Economy, which starts to allude to this whole point. So again, secret number one, the fundamental thing that our prospects, our clients are looking for is that AIR, advice, insights, recommendations on their key priorities and key objectives. That really has to be the framework, the foundation of what we do in terms of how we engage clients as well as those prospects that we seek to serve. Now, secret number two is all about the way in which our buyers of professional services, buyers of your PMO services are now buying. As I mentioned before, our buyers, our prospects are undertaking a lot of self-education and research, okay? And there are more of those people involved. So those members of those buying committees, they're reading white papers, they're listening to webinars, they're going to podcasts, they're talking to industry experts, industry analysts, they're participating in groups, they're doing all this kind of independent research and self-education on their key priorities, objectives that they're trying to achieve. And they want to do so without being bombarded by any kind of BD salesperson. So they're doing a lot of this self-education and research, and they're doing so now, though, through trusted sources. And the fundamental question is now changing from how can I solve X? So how can I undertake this big transformation within my organization? How can I obtain the certain technical, innovative capabilities? Is now changing to with whom can help me achieve those objectives. So the self-education and research that these buyers, and it's now buying by committee that is being undertaken, is they're tapping into trusted sources to get that AIR, those advice, insights, and recommendations. So they're tapping into the likes of peers, their colleagues, various networks, industry associations, online communities, mastermind groups, executive advisor groups. These are some of the, tapping into the industry analysts, the subject matter experts within their industries, within their markets. So they're really trying to find out, who are those people, organizations, and tapping into them to get the advice, insights, perspective that they need to help give them that clarity and direction on how they're going to move forward to meet their strategic imperatives. So it's very much around the who now is becoming a key fundamental question. And again, this is something you can see through a lot of research. Forrester, Gartner, McKinsey are just some of the folks that have been doing research in this whole space around the dynamics of how our folks are buying. So secret number one, again, is that, expertise and that depth of expertise and giving them that guidance, that strategic guidance is important. That's secret number one. And number two is that they're seeking about that through their own independent self-education and research, tapping into various individuals, groups, associations for whom they feel can provide them that kind of guidance and expertise. So this has big implications now then in terms of how you're going to, build and grow your, PM practices, how you're going to acquire, retain, and grow those clients and, build and grow your firms. This now leads to secret number 3, which is very much around the solution about how you go about doing so. And the secret as to how you go about acquiring as well as retaining and growing those PMO clients that you currently seek to serve is that you need to develop and execute what I call a buyer air-driven go-to-market strategy. Now notice I'm going to unpack those words because notice I said go-to-market strategy, not a marketing strategy. Marketing is a component of go-to-market, but it's not the only component. So I'm going to unpack that a bit for you, and then I'm going to break down and talk about this diagram that you see in front of you. So when we're talking go-to-market strategy, I'm talking about that holistic end-to-end strategy and roadmap that is going to be the basis for client acquisition, as well as retention, expansion, and overall growth. Your overarching go-to-market strategy is that holistic strategy that will include opportunity identification. So what are those industries, verticals, geographic markets that you should be focusing on, okay? What are the kinds of organizations you should be focusing on? Getting your depth of understanding of those buyers, those decision makers, those involved in the decision making. And there are 3 key questions you must understand and have a detailed understanding with respect to the buyers. Who makes the decisions? What are their priorities? How do they buy? Your go-to-market strategy also includes, making sure you have the right portfolio of solutions and offerings for those industries, markets, and buyers, clients that you seek to serve. Then, of course, then as well, it has your element of client acquisition, retention, and expansion for how you're going to acquire, retain, and grow your clients. So it's your full end-to-end strategy and roadmap, which is going to involve cross-functional interaction within an organization. So it will entail your marketing and your sales teams, but your client service and support, client delivery, learning and development will also be other key elements. Because to deliver to your clients, to deliver your requirements of your clients, of your buyers, you have to be working cross-functionally, and it's going to involve a number of elements. Marketing is a component, but not the only component. Marketing and sales, client service and support are some key fundamental areas, but you're going to be looking across your service solutions, learning, development, operations. So your go-to-market is your full end-to-end strategy and roadmap. Now, your go-to-market strategy in B2B, it is not enough for it to be client-driven. It must be buyer-driven. Again, it must be aimed at satisfying the needs, expectations, and priorities of those making the decision. Okay, so it has to be, and again, what are our buyers looking for? They're looking for those advice, insights, recommendations to their key priorities and objectives. So creating that end-to-end B2B holistic go-to-market strategy that is aimed at satisfying and meeting the requirements of those decision makers and providing them with air, that is the key to client acquisition as well as retention and expansion. And I'm mentioning retention and expansion as well because often a lot of the efforts are very marketing focused, aimed at client acquisition, and nothing is done in terms of retention and expansion. And it's with your current clients that is often the, I guess lack of a better word, it is really the catalyst, the engine for your business growth. And so you have to be having a strategy for acquisition as well as retention and expansion. Now, in terms of your overarching go-to-market strategy, there are kind of 3 core pillars in terms of how you create and capture demand. And this is really what I'm going to kind of drill down and break down for you now. So with respect to delivering a buyer air-driven go-to-market strategy, in terms of generating demand to acquire clients and hopefully get your current clients who want to stay and spend more with you, there are 3 core pillars that comprise the B2B go-to-market strategy. First of all is content, okay? So we need to be creating content that is going to be providing that advice, insight and recommendation that the members of the buying committee are seeking to address their key priorities. So the kinds of content that you can be creating could be the likes of articles. It might be industry trends. It could be things around the client and markets. It could be some tools for them to do assessments. So creating the right kinds of content that is really going to, again, provide that kind of strategic advice and insight, that is a core component of your content. But your content, if we think of this pillar and the strategy for this pillar around content, it is not just around content creation, it is around content distribution. And so when you're creating this content, the white papers, the articles, the blogs, etc., it's not a matter of just creating it and then sticking it on your website or making it SEO optimized. You need to make those insights, that content, visible where your buyers are seeking for advice and recommendations. So you need to understand what are the industry associations, online communities, mastermind, what events are they going to, what publications are they reading, what podcasts are they listening to. You need to have an understanding of those different channels and be making your content distributed and visible to those trusted groups, associations, communities, publications, etc., where your target buyers are looking for information. So content is your first pillar. And folks, when you're thinking about content, you must think content creation as well as content distribution. One other quick comment I want to make about content. Again, you must remember it must be air-driven. Our buyers are looking for depth of expertise. So coming up with very basic, very high-level basics about the 4 P's of marketing strategy, the basic definitions of business innovation, for example, is not going to cut it. Our buyers are very well knowledgeable, well sophisticated, so you really have to be tapping into and providing content around some of those deep issues and priorities that they're looking for. So content is number one. Second pillar is what I call micro events. So in addition to our buyers who are looking for that advice and insights, they're also looking for opportunities to engage with experts, to engage with their peers, to ask questions, to get different insights and perspectives. So another thing you want to be doing is think about micro events. Now, I define micro events as, those shorter events of like, I'm going to say 3 hours duration or less. Our buyers are very busy people. They're doing lots of things. Often they don't have time to be going to, all day summits and multi-day conferences and all of these things in person, but they will make time for much shorter events, which are very value driven, where they can get some learnings as well as interact with peers, colleagues, and experts. So what kinds of things am I talking about in terms of micro events? These could be executive briefings. They could be roundtables, which can be virtual or in person. I just did a virtual last week for B2B SMB tech. I had over 15 people from 3 countries attending. It can be panels. It can be Q&A sessions. It could be a live stream where you're doing live stream Q&As. Okay, so providing that opportunity for your current clients, those buyers, prospective buyers, to come together, to interact with each other, to gain different perspectives, to meet some subject matter experts is something that buyers are very much looking for. Content and micro events also work very well together as well. And I will run through a quick example shortly as to how you can use content and micro events as a means to be delivering that advice and insights and giving an opportunity for your prospective buyers to interact. The third pillar of your go-to-market strategy I put as partnerships, or I like to think about more broadly as collaborations. Again, you want to be thinking about in terms of your current buyers and decision makers, as well as your prospective prospects. In terms of where are they living, interacting, with whom are they engaging. You want to be thinking about how you can go about and be collaborating in order to gain access to, as well as to deliver, become visible, top of mind, and engage with the buyers that you seek. So this can be done through a number of ways. You can be looking at co-creating. So you as a PMO firm, you might want to, let's say, collaborate with another organization, let's say an IT strategy company, for example, to create a piece of content, a white paper. So you might co-create to create the content. You might also co-create with them to You might partner, collaborate to co-create content and to promote that content as well. You might want to host an event. So you might want to do, let's say, a quarterly panel to talk about industry trends. And so you pair up with a tech firm, a MarTech company, and you join forces to have a executive briefing or a breakfast, which you co-create and you may co-promote. You may also want to be looking at opportunities to cross-promote. So you may start collaborating again with a tech strategy company. They'll start promoting your content to their client base and vice versa. So these are just some examples of the ways in which you can be collaborating, again, with the relevant types of organizations, individuals, as a means of gaining access to your target audience, as a means of delivering advice, insights, demonstrating your authority, demonstrating your expertise, and adding value. Now, your content, micro events, and partnerships, collaboration, those three can work quite well together. So to really quickly give you a live example. So last year I was working with a customer experience, B2B customer experience firm. They wanted to really be tapping into some of the top retailers here in the Asia Pacific region. So this customer experience firm put out a white paper on leading trends in the areas of retail. They put that piece of content, they then put it in an industry of publication. Then they partnered with a digital technology firm that does a lot of work around signage and the retail space. So they created content, collaborated with this specialty partner specialty technology firm, and they hosted a micro event, being a panel and a roundtable, which they flew about 25 of the top retail CX executives to Melbourne for this 3-hour session, invited some local participants as well. So that's just to give you a live example of, you work on a piece of content, industry trends paper, so that's a content creation, distributing it through a industry publication, and then combining that with using a micro event to draw your audience in and collaborating in with another partner to host that event. So that's just to give you an example of how you can actually go through and use all three of those pillars. So secret number 3, buyer air-driven go-to-market strategy. This is a framework. These are your 3 core pillars that can and should be used for client acquisition as well as retention and expansion. The underlying premise of how you're going to do this effectively, though, is that you do need to have an in-depth understanding of the industries and markets that you serve. You need to have an in-depth understanding of the buyers, which I call listening. So doing your listening and having that foundational in-depth understanding is quite critical. Don't have time to go through that today, but that is kind of sits up above this diagram here that you have to undertake.
Hi, Michael. I'm going to be the party pooper now and jump in and just. Your content is amazing. We've only got 2 minutes to go. And
that's fine. I only have 1 slide left. So
okay, go.
So that's all good. The final bonus tip is, in terms of your overall go-to-market execution, it is all about living in the market. At the end of the day, you have to immerse yourself in the market. So you need to be interacting, surrounding your firm with your buyers and those people, groups, and organizations that they trust. That is how you engage, you create the content, doing the events, the collaboration. The key to go to market is immersing yourself within the market. Which brings me to the end of my presentation. So the last thing I really just want to say is thank you for listening and participating. I'm assuming you'll be getting copies of the recording and the slides. Do download my playbook that is highlighted there. That is my SME go-to-market playbook. It's a 20 slide PDF, which goes through everything about listening, gaining that understanding, as well as going through those 3 pillars. And the final last thing I want to say is definitely connect with me on LinkedIn, subscribe to my newsletter, content,
and we'll connect with you.
And that is it. And I'm done from the presentation side of things.
Michael, amazing, so full of energy. That was just fabulous. And I think we had a lot of people join on session, so you're about to get inundated with some requests, and your generosity in with the playbook. Thank you so much, and thoroughly recommend it to everyone. So thank you again for coming along and your presentation, and you've absolutely fired us up. So really appreciate everything you've just done for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, just a quick one for everyone. We're not going to a break. We have a lightning session, so that's a 15-minute session. So we're going to basically jump off this and jump on another one. So only 15 minutes, then you can go and have a break. Okay. So thank you for your kindness, and talk to you soon. And thanks again, Michael. Really great to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Great. Bye-bye. End session. Have you got to end this?